Hi guys, today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to use Flubaroo. Flubaroo is an add-on for Google Sheets, and it's basically a way to quickly grade a Google Forms assignment or formative assessment. So this is an example of one that I gave my science students this year. Very, very simple quiz, name at the top, and then they had to choose the type of energy to find the type of energy. So that's the quiz, and then my students went through and took it. And then if you've never used Google Forms, I think somebody else is reviewing and doing a tutorial on that one. They give you all of the responses here. You can get a summary of each question or individual. And then if you click this little button here, it opens all of the responses in Google Sheets. So, it'll tell you the name of the student, all of the questions, and what they answered. So Flubaroo is a way to quickly grade this because, as you can see, I had 48 of them to grade, and those are only 2 of my sections. I had 2 more that took a different one, so that's 100 of those, which can be very time-consuming to grade. So instead, I can just go in here to Add-ons, Flubaroo, and Grade Assignment. And then it brings up a little step-by-step here to kind of set everything up. So the first step, it asks you, how do you want to grade each question? So you have some options here. Here are my questions. Your options are identify student, skip grading, so if you don't want any points assigned to it, normal grading, which is what I'm going to choose, or grade by hand. Grade by hand would be something that is an open-ended question that you want to go through and you don't want the computer to grade it, you want to look at it. So I'm going to choose normal grading for all of these, except for the first one where I have name, which I chose identify student because that's what it does. There's no points assigned to it, they can't get it wrong. It just identifies whose quiz it is. And then you can assign the number of points to each question. So if some questions are worth more than others, you can do that here. But this was a very simple 5-question quiz, and each question was just worth 1 point. Once you have that all set up, you just click continue. And then you also have to choose which one you want to be your answer key. So the best way to do that is to just go through the quiz yourself, and instead of name, I just type in key. Some people type in teacher. But if you type in key, it makes it really easy. It's my first one that comes up. That's what I want to base all of the answers off of. This test here that has all of the correct answers. So then I just click continue, and then it grades all 50 quizzes or 48 quizzes in about less than a minute. So as you can see, this will come up. And then they give you, tell you what's happening, and there's usually some sort of tip on here. So this is the summary sheet that Flubaroo gives you after you grade an assignment. So up here you can see there was a possible 5 points. My students got an average of 4.7, and there were no overly low scoring questions. So you can see here it shows for each student their name, the total points that that student received out of the 5, their percentage, how many times the student took the quiz, because they can take it multiple times, and you can tell if someone goes back through and takes it 7 or 8 times. You can also email the grades to the students. Now, my students don't have access to email quite yet. They're still working on that, but you can have the grade automatically emailed to them. And then how many points they got for each question here. So you can see here, Brody got 4 out of 5 and 80%, and he didn't get any points. He missed that first question. So it goes through, and you can set what you want your quote-unquote failing grade to be. It's automatically set for 60, but you can go through in the settings and edit that. And anybody who is in red here is someone that you might need to take a special look at their quiz or conference with them and see what else you can do to help that student. But then the best part is all the way down at the bottom, they give you a readout here of how students did on each question. So you can see my most missed question was energy of motion, and the other ones they did pretty good on. So it gives you a readout of how many students, what percentage of your students got each of those correct. Other things that you can do with Flubaroo, you can share the grades. Like I said, you can share them through Google Drive or with through email if you have Gmail set up. And now Flubaroo's recently added these stickers, so you can give someone who got 100% when you email them or send them their grade. They also get a virtual sticker or a badge with it, so it's the equivalent of, you know, kids getting super excited when you put a sticker on the top of their test. Now they can get a virtual one. So you can share it via email or Google Drive or both there, and you can include the questions in the answer key along with that if you choose. You can also get a grade report here of all of the scores, you know, how many students received a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now again, this was a very, very simple formative assessment, a very simple quiz, but this could be definitely more helpful the more complex that yours gets, and you can get that emailed to you as well. So Flubaroo overall is just a time-saving add-on for Google Sheets if you do use Google Forms. And it takes away the time spent grading these simple things like that, so you can use your time more effectively for things like pulling all of those students who are in the red there and helping them or giving them any supports that they may need. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks.